Hello, everyone. I am Rachel Telfor.
And I'm Michelle Gower.
We are the hosts of a new true crime podcast.
It is called Children of the Void.
The Void refers to children who are missing
and children who have died under mysterious and suspicious circumstances.
Sometimes parents know nothing about what has happened to their child.
And sometimes they seem to know more than they let on.
Like Casey Anthony.
And the JonBenet Ramsey case.
We are determined to do our part to find missing children.
And the truth when the story of their disappearance doesn't hold up.
Together, we will blast the shadows with light so that no more children disappear into the void.
Children of the Void debuts in September.
Join us so we can all make a difference.
Please subscribe.
Until then, I'm Rachel Telfor.
And I'm Michelle Gower.
You can catch Children of the Void on Apple, Spotify, YouTube,
and everywhere else you get your podcasts.
Hey y'all, Morgan Rector here. Do you have an idea for a podcast? Furthermore, would you like to host and co-produce your own podcast? I am always looking to expand the portfolio of my company, Leader One Podcast Network. If you would like to have your own show, send me an email and we can talk about it. Aside from politics and religion, I'm open to just about any topic. If you are passionate, knowledgeable, and articulate, I want to talk to you. You can contact me by email, morgansvariety@gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon. Hey, Morgan Rector here. I'm just dropping a line to say thank you to all of my Patreon donors. Since I'm not a Joe Rogan or Mark Maron, podcasting is more or less a starving artist gig for guys like me. Patreon donations keep me from having to take a job that would take away from my ability to generate more Human Monsters content. The website URL for Patreon is www.patreon, that's spelled patreon.com/leader, O-N-E, leader one. A way to make a one-time donation is to send it through PayPal at morganrector331, Rector spelled R-E-C-T-O-R, at hotmail.com, morganrector331 at hotmail.com. You don't have to give a large amount of money if it isn't possible. If $1 a month or $1 one time is the best you can pony up, it would be gratefully accepted. I know how hard things are for everybody during COVID. Thank you for all the support you have given the show, whether it is through financial donations or simply by listening. I am grateful for all you have given to me and the program. Enjoy the show. All right, welcome everybody to the Confession Post podcast. My name is Morgan Rector.
And I am Von Dark.
And if this is your first time listening to the podcast, what we do is we take entries from a website called confessionpost.com where people confess to highly personal things anonymously. And what we do is we read them and give our own opinion, our own analysis on it, sometimes to the point of giving advice. And, we digress too, but ultimately leads to a lot of interesting discussion. So that's what we do. And
it is what we do.
That's right. And normally the way we do it is I go first, but how about you go first this week?
All right. Okay, let me just open up my phone. Because I screenshotted everything here. Turn on it turns me on to know I turned someone else on. Is that weird or is it some type of ego thing? I don't think so.
Was a pretty natural thing, I guess. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, this is like I guess you would categorize this as semi-vanilla in terms of the things that
yeah,
we touch on,
yeah,
but I had to touch on it because like I guess like there's a certain kind of crowd that they're more about pleasing people than getting pleased.
yeah. It's usually because of low self-esteem.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
really,
sorry, that was such a great. It's usually because of the low self-esteem.
I
I
think so.
love that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think like, well, I mean, if you go to the
I
other
think it comes
extreme,
from there for sure.
well, it's like I think someone who has a big ego probably might not do as much to please their partner. They may feel like they're there to serve them. Um, but someone who has a bad self-image, they might feel like, well, maybe I'm not good looking enough or not good enough in some other way. So I'll go out of my way to please them, and they'll never feel like I don't measure up. You know what I mean? Like maybe they'll do tons of foreplay, and because I know that's something that a lot of people of size do when they have sex. It's like they feel like they probably don't like my body, so I'll compensate.
I'll distract them, you
Yeah,
know.
they'll be kicking their legs from all the oral or whatever it is, and that way they won't be able to concentrate on the way you look.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's like that could be part of it too, you know.
I mean, I think
From a
so.
woman's standpoint, I will say this, like, I guess like I don't know if I'm like old school or I guess like it's just because of my 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 pride and ego because of my sun sign or whatever the fuck. But like for real, like I like actually getting dressed up for my partners. Like I like um you know making myself look really good
Yeah,
and
that'd be exciting for them.
like putting on nice like underwear and things like that. Like it's a little extra, but it makes me feel good.
Yeah,
And I feel
Leo's
like,
Leos are theatrical. You know.
yeah, well, it's semi. Like we like to be the center of attention, but like I'm not one of, I don't feel like I'm one of those Leos, you know?
Well,
Like
you feel like you have to earn it, right? Is that the way you're?
yeah, I like just, you know, coming across that naturally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like how it's like if you look at the way that rock concerts evolved, like in the 60s, it was usually just the musicians standing on stage and there was no light show, no smoke, no effects. And then in the 70s, Alice Cooper came along and there was, light shows
Yeah,
and
theatrics and
explosions.
shit.
Yeah, right. And that became
Yeah.
the norm and people came to expect that sort of thing. And they do make rock concerts more exciting. And if you're going to do the sexual equivalent where you dress up or you, I don't know, bring some other element of like kink or something, then if you spice it up, that would definitely make it more enjoyable. Whereas,
Yeah.
people who are so aggressively vanilla that they won't even engage in oral, it's just
Oh man.
intercourse. There are a lot of women who do that. They won't give head.
Yeah, there's a lot of women out there that won't give head, and it's like, yo, okay, so like, do you expect them to like go down on you though?
Well, no,
Like, it's
that's
like
unfair.
yeah, if you expect them to go down on you, but you're not gonna like suck a dick once in a while, like that's stupid.
But
Like
I gotta
that's
say, in
not
terms of
right.
dressing up, though, is there any way that a man can dress up to make him look better? Because most of the
I don't
sexy clothes,
know, like there's
the
a
sexy,
lot. Okay,
yeah.
so Wish has presented me with a lot of different male lingerie that I never even thought was possible. But it's like sissy boy type stuff, right? Like
Like
it's
you're probably not into speedos, right?
well, I mean, I can't say no, but I can't say yes.
the leopard print ones or the
Hey
zebra.
man, like if some guy like was like doing like if he like did a striptease for me and did it like in sort of like a comical way, like he's getting laid, man. He's getting laid no matter what he's wearing. He could be wearing one of those ones where it's like the elephant head and your dick goes in the trunk of it and like you know what I mean? Like those cheesy motherfuckers. I probably would still fuck him after because he like put in some effort, you know, like
Yeah, that's true. What about
and
like a silken robe, like a satin black robe or something
or
like that?
maybe like a smoking jacket, you know?
Yeah, with the pipe, yeah.
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 Like I mean we don't ever really think about what they did in like the 1940s and 50s and shit or whatever, right? Like but they had something going on.
Oh, of
Like
course.
what's
Well,
that?
yeah, you get married and then you find out how good it feels, and I'm sure they didn't just have sex once for each child, like a lot of people like to believe, you know.
Mm. Mm-mm.
People are more
And I
comfortable.
mean like the females hopped up on whatever drug to get her through the fucking day. Like
Yeah, yeah, the
like
social
it's either
diet.
diet pills or like
Yeah.
Vicodin. Vicodin I think was a or something like Vicodin.
Do you like
Anyway.
the glow in the dark condoms?
I actually okay, so on that same topic, I used to have a glow in the dark dildo. And it
Oh
was
yeah.
like the first one that I ever got that you could suction to anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like it was fucking it glowed a lot like in the
Really?
beginning. Like it doesn't last forever, but um there was a couple times we lost power. And like the dildo was actually like it had enough like light in it where we like had to use it sort
Really?
of as like almost like a glow stick, you know, like
Wow. That's powerful, man. So you
it
could
was
actually
good. It was a good dildo. I called him Harvey Wallbanger.
could you have read could you have read by that light? Was it that bright?
No, no, you can't read with that. No, no, no.
No.
But you can see like your way through things. Like
Damn,
it's
that's
like
powerful.
like a Harry Potter one, but a dick instead.
Be cool to somehow make like maybe glow in the dark sheets, like. But then again, that'd be made
Right?
with rubber. I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't be
Oh
very.
no, they would smell weird. I think
Yeah,
they
or
would smell
just
weird.
or feel weird too. Actually.
Yeah, yeah, they would probably be a different texture.
Yeah.
So like I got like glow in the dark nail polish
Oh, that's cool.
and yeah, you can get that at Hot Topic. It's pretty
Oh, that's
easy to
wicked.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that stuff, once you put it on your nails, oh my God, it smelled weird. It was not a good smell.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
Must be a weird synthetic odor, right?
yeah, well, I mean, and you gotta think like how much of that glow in the dark stuff is like, is it really contained? Like, is
Yeah.
it staying there? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, if they made glow in the dark underwear, I'm wondering if that would be bad for you to wear that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, maybe not for a short time, but I guess if you wear it all day long, it would.
Yeah, you
Yeah, it
wouldn't
might.
want
Yeah, it might not mix so well with your natural
to.
juices or whatever.
The pH balance.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It probably would. I don't know what that stuff is made of, but I guess yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah,
It
you'd
would not be
protect it
good.
against it. All
Not
right,
be
so
good.
my first one is it's not sexual and it could be a controversial issue.
Ooh,
Uh,
okay.
so here we goes. Here we go. Blacks beat the shit out of a ginger. That's the title.
Oh,
I try not to be racially prejudiced, but sometimes my patience is tried. I was drinking a beer with a black coworker when he told me a story that made me sick. A red-haired boy had just enrolled in a majority black school when they got on his white red-haired ass big time. He was at the top of the stairs when he was accosted by a group of blacks, and he tried to fight the whole mob. They beat the shit out of him and kicked him down the stairs. Apparently his hair color was his undoing. He had to get the I don't know what this word is, begins with H. He had to get hell, I guess. He had to get the hell out of that school, and I don't know what became of him. My uncle married a Japanese woman, and their children were picked on by blacks until they were removed from that school, and the children's parents had to work 2 jobs each to put them through private school. These are ugly incidents, black folks. Any of you have an explanation? Well, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people who deny that people of color can be racist, but like when I was in high school,
Everyone's racist.
anybody that
Honestly,
you race,
like not saying everyone like
but
is racist, but
white people don't have the market on racism cornered, you know. Like one time in high school, like this black girl was saying racist things about Asians, and there were Asians in the room, and this Asian guy handled it really well. He told her off, and she threatened him like to get into a fight with him, but he said, "I don't hit girls." Like, you know,
yeah.
he was right. He told her off, and he kept his dignity, but yeah, she just had this absurd entitlement, like because she's black, it's okay for her to be racist, but it's not okay for anybody to be racist, especially the
No.
way that's violent, you know.
Well, really, like, anybody being racist is condoning racism, and we're trying to erase racism, right? We're trying to
Yeah.
get rid of it. I don't think it's ever really going to happen. Like, I mean, I wish it would, honestly. Or we could just, like, have a better fucking sense of, like, we all suck and laugh about it kind of thing,
Yeah.
Because we all do. Like, we all suck. We've all done shitty
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, the white race has done the most, but like we've done a lot to ourselves. We've done a lot to like, you know, it's kind of like I know this is going to be a controversial statement, but like we always focus on these things that like happen to certain ethnicities, and we don't look at like all the history. We don't. We don't look at the whole thing. Like when you look at like whatever happened over like in Scotland around Braveheart times,
Yep.
prima nocta was a fucking a thing, right? They would go in and they would basically like if somebody was getting married, they'd have first rights to your wife because fuck your lineage. They're gonna like breed the fuckers out. That was basically what they were trying to do.
Yeah, genocide, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean they're doing it by like rape. They're
Oh yeah.
raping.
Yeah.
Like that's how they decided to do it. And it's whites on whites. Like everybody was fucking terrible to everybody.
Oh yeah. History is just a trail of blood. It's just horrific.
It's
You
terrible, and it just keeps going
and
though. Like,
the further back you go, the worse people are, and
oh man,
all races have done the thing where they invaded other countries and killed people and raped the women. They've all done. Genghis Khan. See, there's this funny thing people have been doing the Ancestry.com. Well,
oh yeah,
like
everybody's
millions
related
of
to Genghis Khan.
yeah, because he just every time he invaded another country, he'd like rape all these women,
Yeah.
and so there are people in the world who like maybe look totally white. They might have a tiny bit of Mongolian in them, just because he spread his seed pretty far and wide. And then there's like the Sicilians. I mean, I think this is
You
pretty
almost,
widely known,
you
but the
almost
Moors.
gotta applaud the man for that though.
Well,
Like,
it's quite an accomplishment.
it
Yeah.
is. He fucked a lot.
Well, it's funny.
He fucked a lot.
When I think of him, I always think of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh man.
Takes a bite out of like chicken and then like grabs a woman and starts making out with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. I rewatched all of those because that new one
Yeah.
came out. And like, yeah,
Was
I
that
forgot.
good?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
They did a good job. Like it's definitely like um it's a little I mean, they're all kind of a little ridiculous in their own rights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they did like to me, like I felt like they did a really good job with the new Bill and Ted.
Mhm.
It's like it's their kids, but like they also go on their own thing. Basically, it's like almost like a therapy thing because they're like, we still gotta find the song that's gonna save the world, and they go forward and forward and forward into time, and keep talking to themselves later.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is really good. It's done really well. I enjoyed it. And Kid Cudi is in it.
Is that on Netflix?
I'm not sure. I downloaded it. I probably shouldn't be saying that in a podcast, but I download pretty much everything. I want it for myself. And I
Yeah.
don't care about the little emails that they give you. It's like, you just downloaded this. Well, cool. I already have it. Thanks for the email.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my opinion about Keanu Reeves is that he was better. He was at his best in the late '80s, and but I don't know. He became kind of wooden in the '90s.
John Wick, though.
I haven't seen John Wick. I mean, but you know what? I'm
Oh,
not putting him down as a human being. He's
yeah.
actually a really great guy. Have you ever read about all these
He is a
road
great
he took?
guy.
Like The Matrix, he got what they call points, which are profit shares from the movie's profits. And The
Mm.
Matrix, of course, made a shitload of money, and he gave all of that money to the people who did the special effects because he felt like that they were responsible for the film's success, which is
Oh,
true. Yeah,
totally.
he made all those
That
people
that
believe
is
in.
the nicest thing ever. He
Oh,
is a nice man. He's a
yeah,
nice man. He's a stand-up human being. And I feel like he doesn't get enough credit, you know? He does
yeah,
and he doesn't. Because yeah, he's not the best actor, but he's got a fucking heart of gold. You
oh yeah,
don't see.
yeah. He's not a covetous person. He doesn't have a desire to be a billionaire, and he uses so much.
No, he just wants
Yeah.
to live comfortably and nicely and whatever, but he also legitimately wants to help people,
Oh yeah. Like I
you
think
know?
his sister had cancer or something like that, and he ended up uh, getting involved with causes that help people who've been through the same illness and stuff. And so yeah, he's really cool.
He's a good dude. That guy, honestly, I wanted to not like him,
Yeah.
because it was a part of my life where it's oh no, he's a crappy actor, whatever. But I think it was probably after John Wick. That's when I changed my mind. And then I started reading a bunch of stuff and seeing a bunch of stuff online, where he's this is what he's done, and whatever. He's just been such a fucking good human.
Well,
Like,
I feel like if there's any performance of his that maybe deserved at least an Oscar nomination, it was Parenthood. Did you ever see that movie?
what's that?
Parenthood. Did you ever see that movie? He's in that.
Parenthood.
It came out in '89. Maybe you were, yeah, you would have been too young to see it at the time.
No, I
Uh,
think I seen it.
Yeah, he is so good in that movie. Like he was still pretty young, and he just like it's hard to explain. He just nailed it so well, like in terms of
Is that
just
the one with Steve? Uh,
well, it was Steve Martin.
yeah, Steve Martin.
Yeah, it was an ensemble movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
Steve Martin was kind of the star, but
There's
yeah, it was just
Parenthood too.
yeah, it's
Was
one of
that?
my favorite
Oh,
movies.
I think that's the one where it's that chick, that the little girl, and she's waving the brush, and that's where that came from. It was just she's "Urgh," and just waving this brush around, and I think she was in the first one, but
Um,
um.
Waving the brush. Maybe
Oh
those.
no, 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 maybe not. Maybe it was a GIF and a meme and just stuff like that. It was this little girl, and she's just she's got this face on her. She's gritting her teeth, and she's "Arr," and she was waving a brush around. But
Mm,
it could have been Parenthood. It could have been another fucking Steve Martin movie that I'm
yeah, it was
thinking
likely
of.
another one. Yeah, maybe the sequel. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your next confession?
Oh, okay. So it's another quick, short one, but we can talk a lot about it because,
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
Tommy says, I love dressing up in panties and lingerie.
And that,
And that's it.
Well, I mean, it's not.
So we've touched on this before, where like we've said like some of the materials and things that like we've got like women have for a lingerie, it actually is quite nice. Like it feels very good.
Yeah, they use the
And
finest fabrics, satin
the
and silk.
finest.
Yeah, they go out of their way to really like bring an artistic touch to it, to
The
really.
finest silks.
Whereas men's underwear, it's briefs, it's boxer shorts or boxer briefs, and just got a fucking flap in the front, and that's it. I mean,
Well,
sometimes you
you
can
got sacks too. Sacks
yeah,
are apparently great.
yeah, the sacks. That's a new thing, right? That's kind of a recent.
Mm.
I've never worn them myself, but yeah,
Apparently, it's life changing. I
really.
know a few guys. Yeah, I know a few guys. It's like they're like it's like an angel is cradling your ball. Like
Yeah,
straight up, like that's how they describe it. And like one of them even said it was like it's like Jeeves. Jeeves is fucking butler is holding your balls all the time. I'm like, that doesn't sound very great. I
yeah.
mean, if you're not into like if you're into that, that's cool. But like if you're not into a butler, like holding your fucking balls all the time, I like the angel one a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
more.
nice description. Yeah, they should make the commercial like that.
I know, right? Like basically use like the what is it, the Philadelphia cream cheese
Oh
angel
yeah,
thing.
or maybe a thing where like a guy like pulls out his underwear and like you see like a golden light come out and an angel flies out
Mm,
or flies in. Maybe that's the way it should go. An
yeah,
angel
maybe they
flies
should
into
fly
into his
in.
underwear, yeah, and, and then go like, well, okay, it's not quite that nice, but along those lines. What do you think about thongs on men?
Thongs. See, like, I feel like you guys aren't prepared for like what thongs really mean. Like, they're definitely more of like you wear them, I guess, for short periods of time for you guys.
Yeah,
But like for us, like sometimes we have to because it's like our pants are too tight, and you don't want to see a panty line. Jesus, like
oh
our
yeah,
like our fashion standards are so fucked up. Like I'm telling you, it's like you can't wear a pair of pants without the certain underwear to go with it. You have to have like the seamless underwear, which you can get. Like it looks like you're not wearing any, and you're kind of like you could be wearing like boy brief kind of style ones, or you wear a thong because you don't want to fucking have like panty lines distorting the shape of your actual butt, and it does happen.
yeah, like in '70s porn where like most of their body is tan, but their ass is soda cracker white, and
Oh my god.
yeah, that's
That
just
bothers me. Like I've seen that a lot in porn. It's not just in 70s porn, but yeah, mainly like or earlier porns. It's like, yo, you like you're not making enough money where you can't have a place where you like could be outside naked. Like
yeah, you got to pay those tanning salons because
I mean, you
otherwise,
could be naked in those. Like you
yeah,
get the
yeah,
whole booth to yourself, like unless
yeah,
you're sharing
exactly.
a room, which is weird, but
It's not exactly safe to sunbathe nude outside, like
no. Well,
a
I mean,
woman.
you
Yeah,
you can if you have the right property, but it's still kind of. I mean, it's not really safe to do that in a tanning bed either, because like you never know if they got new bulbs in there or not. Like that's what changes things. They got new bulbs, you're gonna get fried in
oh
like
yeah, yeah.
fucking 2.5 seconds. Like I used to work at a place called Kara's, and it was a hair salon, aesthetics, and had tanning and whatever. So like we could like whoever worked there, we could just do whatever we wanted, just as long as we signed out the thing. Like so I started tanning there, and I loved it during the winter. It was like the bombest shit. Like tanning in a tanning bed in the winter time, like it fixes those like winter blues. It really does. Because
Oh
you're
yeah.
just like, oh, I'm on a beach. Like, this is good. Like like there's so much warmth. You literally like for like depending on what kind of setting you have, like usually be like about 20 minutes tops for me because like the place where I was going, their bubbles wasn't they weren't very strong. So I would never really get like super fucking tanned from it, but oh my God, it was so good. It was the best in the winter. And like you didn't need like that much for layers and stuff because like if you use the right lotion, because there's like stuff that heats up and tingles and whatever, and you use the heat up tingling stuff and you sit in there for 20 minutes, you come out and you're like you're a little red. You're a little red, but you're like fucking so warm. Like you could almost walk around the place like naked and be like fine. You're not gonna want to do that because there's people around, but it's so good. Like I remember that being like probably the pinnacle of like my winters. I was just like, oh, tanning bed in the winter. This is amazing. Like you don't feel the winter depression half as bad.
But when
You
you go
don't.
outside and it's cold, like
It's kind of a little weird, but
yeah,
it's good. Like you're still really warm.
do you see
Like
steam coming off of your face or anything like that?
probably, yeah. Like you can't see yourself to be
Yeah,
honest,
that's true. Yeah.
but I would imagine I had a lot of that going on.
Oh, without doubt. Yeah.
Man, it was good though. Like it was fucking like you need that, you know? Like you don't realize there's a lot of pros and cons to that shit. Like the cons of having and being in a tanning bed a lot is skin cancer and looking like a leather bag.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do it often, but I highly recommend it in the wintertime. It's so good. Like it
Yeah.
fixes fucking everything.
Yeah, you got to be careful because otherwise it'll be like those like middle-aged women where they're dyeing their hair blonde, but they got
I
like
know.
2-inch black roots with like bright
Ugh,
blonde peroxide hair, and they
yep.
got brown tan. It just looks like shit, looks fake.
It looks like shit, and they also
Yeah.
are like wrinkly as all fuck. Like,
Yeah. Look, anything you do to try to look younger is only going to show up so blatantly that everyone knows it's fake. So I don't see
the
the point in doing it.
yeah, the biggest mistake I feel people do is dyeing their hair blonde. Like
Yeah,
it does make you look young, but if you are naturally really dark and you have to lift that out like
yeah,
and go like to just to get to blonde, like light hair, blonde hair shows damage way way easier than dark hair. It's just the way the light reflects on stuff. That's something that I learned in hair school. So
yeah.
inadvertently, like if you're not taking care of that blonde hair, you're not doing it right, you're gonna look like shit anyway because your hair's like falling apart and like
And it does not work
whatever.
with a dark complexion at all. It does. It
No, or
flashes.
red hair. Red hair is
Yeah, that's
another
true.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
That
I've
doesn't work.
seen
Yeah.
some bad skin tones try to pull red hair off, and it's like, no, 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 no. Like,
Nope.
uh, it's not right.
So my next one is actually triggered this fascination I've had for a long time, and I think fortunately you're a woman and I can ask you this. So it's a
Yes.
short one. It goes. So the title is Love Hate. I just realized I hate my boyfriend as much as I love him. I'm not sure if that's normal, and I've been wondering for a long time if women struggle a lot with contradictory feelings, like they love and hate someone. Is that it? Do you feel that way a lot? Do you,
Yep. See, like, and it's strictly individual, but
yeah.
yes.
And
Um,
it comes up with both like romantic relationships and friendships too. Is that the way it is?
yeah, yeah. I mean, okay, so like that's an interesting question, like setting it apart. Okay, so like I find it more so with romantic stuff because you have like the added element of like sexual stuff, right? So like if they're pissing you off, you don't want to fuck them at all. Like you're just like fuck off. Like just go do something. Just stop bothering me. Go do something. Do something. Just
Well,
like
do you do the thing where you refuse to tell them what's pissed you off?
no. I mean, I'll like if I don't know, I'll straight up say like, look, I'm trying to figure it out. I can't remember. I can't like fully pinpoint it. Maybe I'm just being cranky. Like I'll fully try to communicate. Like, 'cause I mean, I always think about it this way. It's like if I am in their shoes or if I was in their shoes, what would I like need to just calm down for a bit, right? And it's just the validation that it's not you, or like the validation that, the person's going through something and they just need to sort it out, you know? Like
Yeah.
that works for me. It's like, okay, cool. I can give you your space. I'm all good with that because like I need my space when it comes to some shit, and that's fine. But if they don't like if somebody doesn't outright say something like, look, this is like making me not it's making me irritated, or like I'm not sure how I feel about this, at least you're conveying something instead of leaving the
Yeah.
person in the dark. And that's better than like, I mean,
Oh, of
I
course.
personally prefer the communication part. It's like
Yeah.
even if it's gonna hurt for a second, I would rather them tell me than to sit and like build my own thoughts by myself.
Well, you can only get rid of a tumor by extracting it, right? So,
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, you kind of almost have to approach it medically, like you're not gonna resolve something unless you confront it. So, um, yeah, I mean, and like I want to say, like naturally, a lot of people go through this process because like it is a struggle to be in a partnership with somebody because we're all led to believe things are going to be fine. You're going to get along with your soulmate. Things are going to be fucking like a Disney movie or whatever, you know? And it's not like that. No one tells you that the person that you love is also going to have some things that's going to piss you off.
yeah, or hurt,
And
yeah.
you have to be mentally prepared to be like, okay, I can deal with that because they're dealing with this bullshit from me. Like I think it's kind of like pompous, like sometimes for people to come from that area of like, well, I have partners, blah, blah, blah. Like they'd like piss on every single one of their exes. And they're like, yeah, like there's there's actually nothing really wrong with them. It's the person's expectations.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like because sometimes the expectations are like a little unrealistic. Because I mean, really, like we've been brought up on some fucking stupid fucking fairy tale bullshit all our lives. So like that kind of permeates into like our ideals in terms of like going, okay, like this is what I want as a partner. This is what I expect as a partner because like fucking Ariel and Cinderella and fucking, like all these these like Disney princesses, like they found their Prince Charming, and Prince Charming was fucking charming. There's like literally nothing wrong with him except he has a little bit of a wandering eye. You know?
Or he was charming, but on the other hand, a lot of other women found him charming, and that could become problematic down the road.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, is it like they only give you like a little bit of the story, and that, like half the oh, actually, the real problem is that all these Disney fucking movies that we were all raised on to give us these like stupid ideals about like what it's like to find our soulmates or Prince Charming, whatever. All of these things were based off of another fucking fairy tale with no happy ending.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Like Disney just fucking fruit it up so that everybody can be happy. But
Yeah,
in reality, let's like I'll touch on Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid fucking ends up being fucking what is it? She is Seafoam. She actually, like, she let the fucking sea witch marry the man, and she went and fucking killed herself, basically, and turned into Seafoam. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's the real story. So it's like, we're kind of like, we're built into this weird ass society where we have like these like things that we expect from people, and I feel it's really unfair.
Well, I mean, people do feel like you're incomplete without a significant other.
And
Yeah.
I don't fight that completely. Like I do entertain that a bit because it's like you do need you do need help in places, but like,
Or yeah,
like you need to find that person that is, complimentary in that factor. If you have
yeah.
somebody who's not like helping at all, like don't fucking, that's not, it's not going anywhere. Like, there's a lot of people that stay with people who like are like deadbeat types because there's like a hope there. And like, honestly, if they haven't done it already, then they're not going to do it. Like they're not going to do it for you, and they're like, because they haven't done it for themselves.
Yeah, and I mentioned friendships earlier. See, there's this behavior I've noticed in a lot of women where they just they seem to be perennially frustrated with their friends, their girlfriends, where it's like they'll just go into an hour-long monologue about her kids are spoiled, she's irresponsible with money, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And at the end of it's like, don't get me wrong, I love her to death. It's just blah 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 blah. And it
Oh
just
yeah, no, they just have to vent,
yeah, all
like
your friends are tearing you a new one behind your back, and yet
like
you still love each
people
other.
are inherently like fucking opinionated about shit. It's like they always think they can do better, but do they?
Yeah, that's
Like they haven't really. I'm sure like most of these people that like complain about these other people, they're pretty much in the same ass boat, or they're jealous of like the fact that this other person has something they don't have, like maybe kids or a house or like a fucking car or like whatever. So they have to shit on them for some sort of reason just to make
yeah.
themselves feel better.
Insecure, narcissistic. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. There's so much psychology that comes into this fucking like shit talking shit that I love. I love it. I do. I love it. I do.
And
I
then
love
there's the whole
sitting here and analyzing this shit because it like it's aha moments for myself because like sometimes it's just like it takes a little like a couple key words and you're like, oh shit, that really connects. Like, wow,
well,
that's
yeah,
probably why they do that,
and
like,
and
and
there's
I mean,
yeah,
think about us in like preschool and stuff when we like used to tease people because we liked them, you
yeah,
know?
it's
I
true. Yeah.
think it like works both ways.
And then there's another thing with the workplace where like a woman will tell somebody, a friend or boyfriend or whatever, about some woman who she works with who's just making her life a hell on earth. She's a
Yeah.
huge bitch and she's just and then and then maybe she takes you to the office Christmas party and that same person comes along and they're greeting each other. Hi, how are you? Kissing each other in the cheek and you're like, is this the same person you told me is destroying your life? And it's just
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like my
It's a
mother.
giant
Yeah.
fucking chess game. I'm telling you, like, when it comes to women and shit gets fucking complicated because, like, okay, so, um, this, like, kind of reminds me a little bit of a comedian, and, like, this guy, like, he's gonna, like, this will be a little bit of controversy because he went through some stuff, but Louis C.K.,
Oh, big fan. Yeah.
I love him too. Even though, like, he went through some shit, I still love him.
Yeah.
Um, he was talking about the difference between boys and girls as kids, right?
Yeah.
And like he's like and like a boy will go up and just wreck your day, right? Like a girl will come up and like fucking wreck your life, like
In your
so
heart.
like his examples were like he's like he had like a mom over with her kid and whatever, and like the boy literally just ran up, and threw fucking a fistful of fucking sand in her drink. Like, just like fucked right up. Like, and then he's talking about his two girls, and he says, yeah, one of my girls, like, they broke the head off of this doll, and because like that, like, it was so like it was such a big thing for this one kid. The one kid that the dolls, like, anyway, her doll got fucked up. He's like, she tried to convince me to break the other one's doll. And I almost did it. He's like, and I almost did it.
I think he did do it, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And it was just like,
Yeah, women
this
use
is the pinnacle of like what we all go through. It's hard being a female. Like, I know guys, like, they're just like, oh my God, like, females, like, you get laid all the time, blah blah blah. But yeah, like, we can totally do that.
there's a price
But
to
it's like we deal with so much other shit, and like we have to like play, like, because we're already like lower on the scale of things. We already, like, we're born into being a female. So we're like, all right, we gotta work really hard here. That's, I think, why we get into the whole manipulation thing. It's like we're gonna we're gonna choose not actual violence, but like psychological warfare, and we're gonna win. It's like,
Well, my
it's
mother
shitty, but
my
it's
mother was
true.
once a hairdresser, and she worked at this one salon where they were all women, and like she had to leave because of that shit. Like it
Hmm.
was just so toxic, just women hating each other, and because
Oh my
ultimately,
God.
because the way it work, well, working in a hair salon is a little bit like being a stripper in that it's
Yeah.
you're paying to work there, and you're kind of competing with everyone, and
Yeah.
so the other hairdresser may get more appointments because they know more people, and so yeah, it's kind of a snake pit. You're kind of it's just every woman for herself, and it just
Yeah.
gets really ugly, you know.
It's true. It's true. And like, I guess that's probably why I ended up in the tattoo industry, is because it's like, oh, good, like, I can just fucking breathe, like, because
Yeah.
I've always hung out with guys all my life, and it was just
Less
like,
drama, yeah.
oh my God. But I mean, at the same time, like, it's different drama. It is.
Friend zone
It
drama.
is less drama, but there's still drama, but it's different. It's way better than fucking dealing with like fucking girl drama. Holy crap. All
Yeah. All right, so what's your next confession?
right, one second. All right. I always give a cigarette to my daughter when she is upset. I'm a heavy smoker mother, so I know cigarettes can relax me. When my daughter was 8 years old and got a bad grade at school, I gave her a cigarette instead of shouting. She was very surprised because I was always smoking in the house, but never allowed her to suck into my cigarettes.
Hmm.
Suck into. From then, from then on, however, I always allowed him. Okay, so it's a him, or is it a her, or is it a him? Anyway, I always allowed him one cigarette when she was upset or she had a stomach ache. It was a little weird seeing my little child smoking while playing with her toys, but she liked it. So I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. I started smoking as a child too and have no problem with my health. Now my daughter is 19 years old, and of course she is really heavy smoker now. Smoked 2-3 packs a day. Maybe someone says I did wrong, but I don't think so. Smoking has positive effects too.
Well,
Okay.
I'm not a parent, so maybe I have no business saying so, but as a parent, you have a right to be a hypocrite. You have the right to allow a certain amount of unfairness. Your kids don't get to smoke cigarettes. They don't get to drink alcohol. There's a whole ton of
No.
shit that they don't get to do.
Not
It's not
until they're like actually old enough to like know what the fuck is the consequences.
Yeah, I think maybe there's too many parents these days who want things to be fair, but life isn't fair at all, and that includes when you're a child. So there's just shit that they don't, and maybe you're just postponing the inevitable, but if you're but letting them smoke as children, then they're just going to end up even more unhealthy in the long run. So
Yeah, no, it's not good. Like, I mean, I have actually like my parents don't really like the fact that I smoke because at the moment I'm here under their roof and they see how much I smoke. And to boot, I'm smoking these like cigar type fucking smoke things.
are they kind of like Colts?
No, they're a little bit better. They're like cigarillos,
Oh
sort of.
yeah,
It's still like like it's a cigarette, but like it doesn't taste like one. It's like more like it tastes like a cigar.
oh yeah, yeah.
Um, so they're not keen on it. They don't really like that so much. Um,
Well, how many lighters do you go through a day? Not just kidding. That's a,
not many a day. It's more or less like a week, I guess.
yeah, that's a
But
Bill Hicks joke. Yeah, I'm a heavy smoker. I go through 2 lighters a day now. Yeah.
oh shit, two yeah, lighters. Yeah, that's definitely like that's up there. That's like you're not even counting packs anymore, like
Yeah.
because you can't count packs. Like
Yeah, at that point you've got the fucking yellow fingers. Well, you got brown fingers, I guess.
I have one finger that legit has like a brown stain on the fucking fingernail, but like when I paint my nails, like it is definitely way more pronounced than when I don't. And it's like fucking disgusting. No, I'm like, ew. Like it's is
With the
that they
smell.
can't be the fucking no, it's not terrible. I'm like smelling
Terrible.
my finger right
Just
now.
you'd have to like press your nose
No,
against.
it's not bad.
So I'm wondering how long it takes for that to fade if someone quits smoking.
Okay, so they did like a study. It takes like what was it like 2, 3 weeks for the craving to subside.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're not gonna want to have one after like that, like you might have like a surprise craving. And then it goes through all of your organs rebuilding themselves. It takes about a year
Oh,
of not smoking to get somewhere health wise. One whole year, and your lungs will have rebuilt themselves. I don't know the percentage, but they would have done some recovery. And then there's other organs in your body uh, that also would have recovered a bit. But it takes a while because I mean, honestly, when you think about it, there's CP, what is it, CPOD.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is a very real thing, and I've known people who have smoked like I mean, I had a grandmother that smoked like a long time. I mean, she quit when I was probably about 10 or 11 or so. But I mean, like, she had like a lot of years before that, obviously, where she smoked. And she didn't die from it. She died
Yeah.
from other injuries, like other stuff. And I mean, there's a lot of older people that don't die from that stuff. But it's not to say that you're not going to die from that,
No. Well,
you
I
know?
mean, I'm not a smoker, but and I don't want to be exposed to secondhand smoke. But at the same time, I feel like the laws are a little draconian. Like I remember, like when the government really started cracking down, for a while there, like a lot of businesses had a smoking room, like a bar would have a separate room, and you close the door, and you can smoke in there. And now they don't even have that. But I'm thinking that was fair. I thought that was a good compromise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But now it's just like you can't even stand within like 9 feet of the door outside, and maybe I think
Yeah, oh man, like, okay, so I'm a little sad that I missed the generation of like smoking in the malls and things like that,
the
smoking
office,
in the fucking airplane and whatever.
the tower ashtrays in the office, and all that. Yeah.
Like, I'm, it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I got to experience though. Remember when they still kept smoking in the bars, but they
Yeah.
put like the ventilation systems in?
Yeah. Yeah.
It
So
lasted like what, 2 years tops?
yeah.
And then they're like, fuck it. Like, we're just, how much money those bars spent putting in fucking
Oh
ventilation
yeah.
systems for
Thousands,
something
bro.
that didn't last that like long at all? Oh my God. It kills me. Like, I just like I think about that. I'm like, there's so many bars out here in Halifax that did that, and like some of them didn't even last a whole year because like they didn't get like the system in for like a while. So like, and now you're still like you go like you're you were comfortably smoking in the bar. Now you're outside freezing your fucking tits off.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, I should probably give up smoking if I don't want to fucking be cold.
So and two
Yeah.
questions I've always had for smokers. Why is it that you enjoy smoking after eating, and what is it about smoking after sex that makes it so enjoyable?
Uh, it's just like, I don't know. I think it might be partly oral fixation, but it's
Mm,
also just like a comfortable thing too.
mm,
You're just like, like, my mom used to smoke reading her morning paper and having a coffee. She used to get in the car and light up a smoke. She used to like, it was almost like everything that she did, she was like smoking, you know? Um, it was almost like Towley, the way I think about it, like
mm.
Towley from South Park is like, oh, let's just get high first, like
So
let's
that
just
that
have a
urge,
smoke first,
so that
like
urge
that's
just it just that so like just the nicotine habit just kind of I guess it just kind of blends in with
oh
everything, so you
man,
do
like
everything differently.
nicotine's like fucking caffeine.
Yeah.
It's close to it, It's like one of those little subdue, like it's okay to have this habit, like same with fucking having a coffee and a smoke. It's the hooker's breakfast, like they call it the hooker's breakfast.
Well, I read this
A
interesting.
coffee and two smokes.
Yeah, I read this interesting essay. As a woman, she's a blue collar gal. She's not doesn't have a post secondary education. She works in the service industry doing something that she hates. Doesn't make much money, and she's just going through her routine. And part of it was smoking, where she said, I go on my break in the afternoon and I smoke a cigarette, and that keeps me going so I can get through the last couple of hours because she hates her job. And I thought, well, I get it. That sounds all right. I mean,
Some
I've had,
people take up smoking because they don't get a break,
yeah,
which I think is fucking stupid. You should get a break regardless. You shouldn't have to fucking take up smoking just so you can have a fucking break.
or they take it up in grade 9 when they see that the cool kids smoke, and then that's how a lot
Oh
of them start.
yeah. My very first cigarette was a Marlboro Light, and it happened in Germany, and I was like 12, 11, 12, something like that. And it wasn't spectacular.
American cigarettes are really strong, right?
Oh man. Well, Marlboro Lights weren't bad. I
Oh,
made a good choice, but it was still pretty harsh. I was like,
yeah.
damn.
Well, the first time I tried, I'm like, oh my God, that's hot. You know what I mean? I don't know. For some reason, it didn't occur to me that smoke would be really hot. Even though
I
this,
know. Oh man. Yeah, there's some surprising things about it. I was like, whoa, this is really filling up my lungs.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, like when you inhale your first drag of it, you're like, oh, like
Yeah, it's
I
hard.
remember like just like the whole like it's just like I could feel it. I could feel my lungs, you know? It
Yeah,
like my lungs like constricted around it almost. It was just like really weird. But then like that doesn't happen anymore after a while. You just And then there's always the first smoke of the day where people get lightheaded and stuff. They're like, ooh, cheap high. I remember that in the high school.
oh yeah, because you just went for like 7 or 8 hours without a smoke. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and like their first one, and you're like, I'm gonna go see like fucking Jim Bob and whoever, and we're gonna have a smoke, and you're like, ooh, like.
Oh yeah. All right, my next confession is entitled "Blonde Girls," and there's an explanation point with that. So I'm South American, and I am not a racist, but I've always preferred blonde girls over other girls. The strange thing is that I don't get turned on by South American girls, my own race. Is that weird? When I talk to other people, they always say that South America has the most beautiful women, girls in the world. I know that South American girls have the biggest heart than any other girls, even blondes. I guess that's the only good thing I like about them, but I want a blonde girl. They're sexier in my eyes. Well, I mean, I think like
Everybody's got preferences.
yeah, that does seem to be a thing though among a lot of men of who are not white is there has I guess maybe the media has a lot to do with it, like really holding the blonde girl up as like the epitome of
True. Becky
beauty.
with the good hair, right?
Yeah, the Barbie doll type. I think so. That's definitely had an influence on other countries and other cultures. And yeah, ultimately not always a positive influence. Um, I mean, I actually prefer brunettes to blondes. I mean,
Me too. Well, I mean, I don't like. Okay. Um, I do have like I guess I have a preference like with the darker hair. Yeah. Like when it comes to like male female, I have a thing for darker hair,
mhm.
and it's probably because like I'm a blonde hair, blue eyed chick, like naturally. And I don't really like my natural fucking blonde hair. It sucks and it's like really hard to fucking maintain if you want to have it nice.
Black hair totally suits you, like in the Papo video.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Was that natural color, or were you wearing a wig?
And no, that was my
Or I
hair.
mean, yeah, that looks really good on you. That really
I
suits.
decided I was just like I was done with the blonde. And then you know what? Like that's again back to the like the whole thing with the blonde hair. Like blonde hair shows damage. So I was like, oh, I'm fucking sick of my hair looking shitty on one side and good on the other. So and I was like, you know what? I pulled off black hair before, and this is semi-permanent. I can just bleach it out if I like if I'm not liking it. At least it's not the fucking box dye shit. So anyway, like I did that and like I had moments where it's just like, oh man, I gotta like redo my makeup and my wardrobe just so that everything fucking suits itself. But I personally like it. Like it's a lot more low maintenance. And if you know how to play makeup right, you can make your eyes pop, you know?
Oh yeah, with like black eye.
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And it's funny, my dad was saying, he's like, like he was talking about his preference. And he's like, I don't really like blondes. Like, I mean, they're cute, but like, I prefer darker haired women. Like he was talking about ABBA, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about ABBA, and like everybody loved the blonde chick. He's like, I like the other one. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I get it.
I was like, you know what? I feel you. I do because like honestly, it's like that whole Betty and Veronica dynamic.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the Betty and Veronica dynamic because, like, yeah, Betty's cute, innocent, but Veronica's like fucking sassy and she's got like, I don't know, she's got something,
I like
like the.
I prefer Betty's personality, but yeah, I like the way Veronica.
I do like Betty's personality because she's a lot nicer.
Yeah,
Like
Veronica's a
when
narcissistic
you're
bitch.
talking about the comics and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But like say Riverdale the show, they like kind of play them a little bit better. You know, like they make them a little edgier.
Yeah.
Um, like Betty, she gets a little fucking weird. I don't know if you've watched Riverdale, but
Is that like, is it like, I never have, it's like a paranormal show, is
no,
it?
Riverdale is a play on Archie and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah. But it's a darker version. It's like a whodunit murder series.
Oh,
Sort of
okay.
whodunit murder series, sort of teen oriented, but kind of not. Like there's some really like good kind of dark aspects about it. Like I watched like the first full season and I liked it a lot. I just didn't get a chance to watch the rest because Sabrina came out and I needed to watch it. So, did you watch Sabrina?
I never did. No, I never.
Okay. So, like, definitely check those out, but like, do it when you have some free time. Like, definitely donate your time to like things that you love more, but check it out because like you actually might kind of like dig like sort of the dark aspects of things. Oh, and okay, you're familiar with the comics though, right? Like the Archie
Oh yeah,
comics?
that was yeah, I read them when I was a kid for years.
Okay. So they make Mrs. Wood
Is this Grundy?
Grundy. They make her hot as fuck.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yes. And her and Archie, I'm telling you. Oh,
Really, but kind of a
yes,
they
watch the
just
show. I'm just like, Jesus fuck. Mrs. Grundy, eh? All right, all right.
yeah. And one thing I always thought too was
It gets
so
fucking like scandalous.
so whenever Moose wasn't around, his girlfriend Midge would start fucking around with Reggie, and Moose would get angry. But it's like, have you ever thought about confronting Midge? It's like asking her, like, I go away for like 2 hours, and you're fucking Reggie. Like, could you
Yeah,
be
like what the
more
fuck,
loyal? You know?
bitch?
Yeah.
Like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Like, you're just waiting, right? Like, yeah.
But yeah, one look I really am a big fan of is like a jet black hair with
Like the
white
Betty
skin.
Page kind of deal, right?
Yeah, kind of, or like a bob with like really white skin, like a
Yeah.
vampire, almost that kind of look. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Zoolander, Katinka.
I saw the movie.
Here.
I don't remember it that well though.
Okay, so like it's like the counterpart to Will Ferrell's like it's actually Mila Jovovich. She looks great, like
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
black bob and like she fucking like she kills it. She's like perfect for that. Like I was just like,
I can see that. Yeah, like I always thought
yeah.
Uma Thurman looked better with that Pulp Fiction.
Oh yes, totally. I should have fucking thought of that too. Like Uma
Not
definitely.
not that she looks bad as a blonde, but it's like I don't know.
No, but
It's just yeah, it's like that was the perfect hairdo, but ultimately I don't know. I guess she doesn't want people to just think she's Mia Wallace for the rest of her life.
mm.
So
Well, I mean Mia Wallace is kind of like a not so reputable kind of person.
no,
Oh,
into the drugs.
and like fucking, did you see like they're coming out with that like that last installment of Kill Bill?
They're doing it for sure.
Yeah, like
Oh,
there's they have Zendaya somebody as like
all the little girls.
um as like yeah, the little girl.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
like yeah, I know. I was like, oh, I'm so stoked. I'm so like we should probably do like a movie podcast thing and
Yeah,
have like Buddy from fucking the trailer park one. Like we can do a 3-person one where we geek out on movies and shit.
well, I do have an idea for the next Papo where we talk about like movies we consider to be overrated. We did the underrated.
Overrated, yes. Okay, so I want to okay, quickly on that Avatar.
I liked it, but I agree with
I
you.
liked it, but overrated.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't buy the way I judge movies is would I buy the DVD and watch it again? And I would say I enjoyed the film. I saw it in the theater in 3D, which was amazing, but to watch it again and again, no. But yeah, I admire the craftsmanship. It was really well done. but I just don't, I just don't feel an urge to see it again. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like there's like I mean, I can appreciate stuff, but like there's so much shit in that movie that I can't get past. It's like this is like that's you didn't like reach far to like find a fucking you didn't unobtainium motherfucker. Unobtainium. Like the really you're
Yeah,
gonna call it unobtainium because you can't obtain it because it's on another planet. That's what you're going with. Like, ugh, it
and
just
I'm a
makes me
huge
so
Star,
mad.
and I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So like, after having watched all the Star Wars movies, it's hard to impress me in terms of science
I love
fiction.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
Like the okay, I'm always like the first three, like not the first three, like the like four, five,
prequel.
six,
Yeah,
four,
well,
five, six, always.
I like the prequels. Like they are spotty, but there are some scenes I really like. The Disney ones, they have some good scenes, but there's also some stuff that annoys me about them.
Yes,
But
yes.
I don't know.
Okay, I think you would enjoy Red Letter Media because like this dude, he's actually like he's pretty good at like fucking like at getting into like reviewing stuff and he will pick stuff apart. Like some of these things are like 7 parts where he picks apart just one movie. It's 7 fucking parts. Like he gets into it. But
Oh,
it's like there's some comical shit. I'll have to send you the link, but like I think you'd appreciate it. He does some good shit. Like he really makes fun of the first three, but he also like he kind of makes fun of like the characters like in a way too, like where it's like, you know, really that's what he says. This is his only line, blah blah blah, like the blah blah like he just like fucking rips it. Rips the first three. Like, cause he's a Star Wars fan, right? Like and he's actually like I guess trained to like do reviews and stuff like that. Like he knows like he's actually like good at it, but he adds like a comic flair to it, right? Just to kind of break it up because he goes on forever. Like he kind of has to. But Red Letter Media, I'm telling you, like not only does he rip out fucking Star like the first three Star Wars because he like really tears on fucking Jar Jar Binks, but like he he does a review for Baby's Day Out.
oh wow, yeah, that's an easy target.
I know. It's like he does other reviews and they're just like some of them you're like, "Oh my God, like I have to watch this because like
Well, one character I hate more than Jar Jar Binks is the Chris Tucker character in The Fifth Element. I fucking hate.
oh man.
It's like he fucking nails on the proverbial
Oh
chalkboard.
man, he fucking
God.
man. Yeah.
That is just the character was totally unnecessary, did not need to be there. I don't know what he contributed to the plot. Had an annoying voice.
Oh
Uh,
man.
the hair, and there's all these women who are in love with him, like really
I
fucking
know.
serious?
Oh,
Whatever.
I know. I had issues with that like the first few times, but then I started like I don't know, half loving him because it was only like it was a couple parts that like he fucking like he did something funny and it was great, but like yeah, no, like Fifth Element holds a special place in my heart.
But it's one of those big '90s movies.
Well,
Yeah.
Mila Jovovich, man, like she fucking killed it for like a hot minute.
Yeah,
She
and she did a
did.
very good job of playing this person who basically wasn't even really a human being. So
Mm.
she did that well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what's I think you're up next. What's your next new
Yeah, what
favorite?
is my next one? Hang on. What is my next one? No. Um. Okay. This isn't sexual, so I'm just gonna clarify.
Okay.
Need need investment. really want to start a YouTube channel about fixing makeup product, but I need a small investment as makeup molds are really expensive. And my family members aren't that supportive. Being a girl child is hard. So the way it sounds is that maybe she's in an ethnic family and it is very hard to be a girl child. Um,
Does she mean that she wants to actually create her very own makeup line? Is that what it is?
um, I would say so.
Because I don't know what
It sounds like fixing makeup products, but like I don't think that is a lucrative thing.
you mean, like
Um,
taking like a MAC lipstick and finding a way to improve it? Or,
I wouldn't say like taking a Mac, like I would say more failed products
oh, because that might get you
even.
sued, though. I
I
mean,
mean, it could.
yeah.
The way it reads, it's hard to kind of tell what they're saying, but they say they want to have a YouTube channel about fixing makeup product, but maybe making makeup product is what
Now,
they're.
now, if you buy like the cheapest makeup in the store, does it end up being bad quality makeup? Like, what's the difference between the expensive stuff and the cheap stuff?
Longevity coverage, like there's a few things um sometimes you can luck out and find a decent brand that's like pretty cheap, but you have to like luck out to like find that and like go like basically go by word of mouth, I would say, because
Hmm.
there's no way of really knowing until you like go and buy the product and you've just wasted money on it, you know?
Have you ever saved
Um,
money by going to Sephora and gotten them to like demonstrate something on you? Like,
oh no, actually, like I've been a member of Sephora for years and I still have not gotten my
wow.
free makeup over with them because like what my deal is like I want to find a drag queen that's working. I don't want them to really like work some serious magic on me because whoever else is fucking doing their thing, they're just like gonna fucking give me the free fucking here you go, you know, like it doesn't have any, they're not gonna put like a crazy amount of awesomeness into it. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they're really gonna like give her. But if I like find myself a drag queen that's working there, they'll be like, "Oh, girl, you know, like I'll tell them I was like, give me a full drag face. I don't care. Like I want you to fucking showcase your stuff, take pictures, put it on Instagram, do all that." Because like I feel they'd be more excited. But a
But they
lot
would,
of these other,
but they're
people,
not. Yeah, they're not. They're all about like mainstream makeup choices, right? Like
yeah.
kind of stuff you do in your model. They wouldn't do that.
Well, I mean, I do like semi mainstream, semi not. Like it depends. Like um really like it's just applying a lot more eyeliner or like my non-mainstream stuff would be like the bloody crap,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
but
I was just thinking. I mean, we were talking about glow in the dark stuff earlier. Glow in
yeah.
the dark lipstick, that would be hot. That would be really.
Mm,
I mean, I don't know.
that
I don't know
actually
how it
would
would
be really
taste.
good.
Yeah, that would be
I don't
pretty.
know about like taste. Yeah, taste would be taste and smell, it's right under your nose,
Yeah, right.
so I don't know. It really
Uh,
depends.
well, going from that to this other account dealing with superficial issues. This one's actually pretty sad. Affects an 11-year-old. The title is Fat and Ugly 11-Year-Old, a Flaw of This
Aw.
Earth. I wish I was beautiful and skinny. My weight is considered a joke. My friends all say that they wish they were as skinny as me, but I know you are lying. Can't even sympathize correctly. I'm afraid of being judged, that they will see my flaws. They say flaws are good, but I tend to disagree. My being fat is a flaw. My cracked lips are a flaw. I myself am a flaw of this earth. But what can an 11-year-old do? That's not even half of it. So yeah,
Um,
there are a lot
they're
of
like so early in their life. There's so much they can do right now.
yeah. I
You
mean,
know, like that's the thing. Like I know, like when you get to that age, your hormones change, and you're just like, oh my God, like I can't believe this earth. I can't believe the body I was put in. I can't believe all these things. Like you just like get so pissed.
yeah,
But all that changes later on because like you realize as you go on through life that everybody else has the same insecurities as you
yeah,
do. And like it makes things a lot better. And I mean, sure, like for an 11-year-old, they still have like, elementary school, junior high, and high school to get through. But like through all of that, like you're gonna be changing. And like, I mean, just to touch on one thing, the cracked lips is easy to change. Just get some
yeah.
chapstick. Like get some chapstick.
That used to be
Get
I used to have a really bad problem with chapped lips and like cracks in my feet and stuff in my hands, and I don't know why
man.
it went away, but
It's just
um,
dry skin, like, and sometimes it's like where you're living at. Sometimes the water is extra, like, fucking shitty,
yeah,
like, and that, like, fucks your shit up. It does.
and it might have something to do as well as where you're living, like the apartment building or house. It could be that it has dry air or something like that, and then you go in and out of the cold and the heat, and I think maybe that kind of throws your body off balance. I'm not sure, but
Oh, man. Yeah, like, fluctuation in temperatures and all of that, like, obviously, like, that will do it. Like, if you, like, go from, like, say summer to, like, winter, you're gonna see like a huge change because it's like your body, you're sweating a whole shit ton during summer, but then like during winter you have like zero moisture. So
yeah, you go Christmas shopping, you're walking through the mall sweating, and then you get outside and all of a sudden it's freezing, and yeah. Okay.
yeah.
So what's your next confession?
Oh, what is my next confession?
Or last, actually.
um, damn it. I had one. Okay, cat fights.
Oh, interesting.
I want to find out how to get into a real cat fight with other women. Not street fighting where people seriously beat the shit out of each other, but not some fake ass fighting. But I do want it where clothes get torn or stretched out. I want an audience watching and yelling and betting on us, egging us on. I want there to be real punches, hard face slaps, titty twisting, knees to the tits, hair pulling, and fingers. What? I don't know what that's supposed to say.
Hmm.
Fingers. It starts with an F and a bunch of stars and P with a bunch of stars.
Finger.
I actually don't know what that means. But I don't know how to find this. I want real though.
Well,
Real, real tough, strong, mean dyke types to be wrestling me roughly and hurting me. It could be fun in mud too, but not like some silly bar type thing. I want to be in a real ring fighting with real women and where regular men and some women come to watch two women wail into each other like they're fighting over a man.
well,
And the loser has her face pushed it into and held onto the visitor's crotch to fung, oh wait, to tongue fuck her twat and
wow,
pucker hole.
damn.
The way that ended, I'm thinking that might not be a woman, but that's okay.
Well,
Well,
well, I mean, what I'm thinking is find some like degenerate gamblers to like, find a space for it, and just have it be like an underground fight club, and they can gamble on it. And there must be girls out there who are hard up for cash and are willing to do it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you could always put an ad out on Craigslist or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, she
I don't
mentioned.
know how this shit works anymore, to be honest, in terms of that. Like.
I swear I've heard about a female fight club before. I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
That's
know. I
sick.
think it's happened. I mean, not nearly as often as men have done it, but I'm pretty sure I've heard about it. Yeah. So
That would be sick.
it'd be
That
interesting.
would be sick.
That's a big turn on for men too, so men would be happy to watch.
Oh, totally. Like, and you know what? Like, something like that, you can OnlyFans the shit out of it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
find yourself like a good fighting partner, and you just like fucking set up an account where it's just like strictly you guys fucking beating the crap out of each other, but like kind of like, sort of hot, sort of not, because the way it sounds, like they want a real good fight, but they want a good happy ending.
Well, yeah, I mean, she wants to fight dirty, so that could be difficult to put into like something like OnlyFans. They would probably not
Well,
allow.
you just do like snippets, right? And you do like a little snippet of like nothing like too dirty, but then you like, you open it up to like selling,
Yeah. Well,
better clips to other people.
the tongue fucking is a bit extreme. I don't think.
I know, like that
yeah.
part, like.
Like you can watch like female boxing or female martial arts or female wrestling, but yeah, they don't tolerate that kind of shit.
Well,
Or
no, yeah.
hair pulling. I don't
That's
think
not part of
Oh,
MMA.
no. So this, yeah, I think you would just have to do it underground. Everyone has to pay a fee again. You could probably make a lot of money. I think so.
I think it's like there's some serious potential.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to like fucking find the right person to do it with you, and then you're fucking set.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only way to go about it, I guess. So my last confession, I actually identify with this one a lot because I've had a similar experience. It can happen to both men and women. The title is Hate You. So basically, there's this guy. He recently got over a girl he's liked for a long time. We started talking a lot after he got over her. I was falling for him quickly. That's when I found out that the girl that he used to like is similar to me, athletic, smart, even our writing is the same. I thought we could actually be great friends. He stopped talking to me today. One of my best friends told me that he's starting to talk to the girl again. Was I just a rebound for him? Just because I reminded him of her? I don't like being used. I don't know about you. I've been a rebound victim, and that is really shitty because you have been used.
Oh
Emotionally
man,
used.
I think
Yeah.
I'm like currently like sort of a rebound person like at the moment. Like I don't know, like it's just like I have like one person in my life. It's like they always seem to come back, you know? And like at one like in one point like on one point of it like it's like oh it's like kind of endearing. It's cool that like they're coming back to me, but at the other point it's like it's kind of tiring. It's like I do like this, but it's like yeah, it's not going anywhere. Like
Yeah, probably the worst time to start dating someone is if they just broke up with someone because they may just be using you because they're not ready to be single and they're not ready to part ways with that kind of intimacy, and their feelings for the other person are still lingering even if it's tainted by anger. Nevertheless, the feelings are
yeah,
still there, so that's a dangerous time. So if you are dating them, it's probably a good idea to take it really slow because they may
yeah,
decide to go back with them.
totally.
Even sometimes we root for people to break up so we can date.
Yeah, it's like yeah, like there's been so many times like my friends have been like, "Oh, I'm dating blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like, that's cool. Like, I'm happy that you're excited. Like, I'm not trying to say like it's a bad idea, but it kind of is a bad idea. Like,
Yeah, because they're secretly they're on a break, whether they realize it or not. So,
yeah, I just like some people are just, you know, they don't really know. Like, they're just like, I don't know, like naive about stuff, and they're just like, oh no, 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 it'll work out different for me. And it's like, no, dude, like, trust me. Like, I've seen it work out like all of these ways, and like for different people, or like the same way basically for different people. So like, I don't understand how it's gonna work out differently for you. Do you have a horseshoe up your ass? Like, what's the deal? Tell me your secrets. Like,
well,
like what?
my first love was a rebound situation, so that was even worse because
Oh,
when you first get your heart broken, like you were not calculating or anything, like you're just totally you dive into it head first because it's your first time, and it was a fucking rebound thing. Like 2 weeks later, she dumped me, so that was bad.
oh man, two
Like,
weeks. Like, that's shit. That's like, that's so rebound territory too. Like, it's like, God. Like, if you just been outside the 2 week territory, I wouldn't be like, yeah, that's, you know, like, that's not a rebound, or that's like, you know, actually a rebound. Because like, when you fucking go 2 weeks, you know, like, that's like about the time it takes for somebody to like kind of get over things, but they can't be alone. Like, that's the deal, right? Like, I've noticed that through life. I don't know about you, but like through my dating, uh, non-expertise, through my dating non-expertise, I have noticed that there's a pattern that everybody goes through, you know? There's a
yeah,
pattern, you know, like, and you know, some people I allow like to just go through this pattern. I'm like, you know what, like, whatever, it's cool. You gotta work things out. Like, fucking, I'm all good with it because right now I have the time for this. But like, I'm not always gonna have the time for this. You know, like, not gonna wait forever for you to figure you out. You
yeah,
know? That's usually how it works. And like, um, you know, you know when you're a rebound, if like they're just like kind of like, I don't know, it's like a quick in and out. You know, you're just like,
yeah. It's a
you know,
little
yeah,
pit stop, yeah, to make them feel
yeah,
like,
yeah. Like, it's like a pit stop, and you don't really get much else of their time either. You
oh
know,
yeah, and
uh,
she ended up like and that their relationship was really dysfunctional. Eventually, they broke it off for good. She doesn't
yeah,
even speak to him. She ended up marrying another guy. So it's like it didn't even pan out with him. So yeah,
fun.
God,
Yeah, sometimes it's just like really like, god damn, like, and I mean, sometimes you wish he could just like show people the red flags. It's like, look, this is this one red flag that I've seen. This is another red flag. This is another red flag. And I mean, these are the only ones that I've seen. I don't know what you've seen. Like,
well, it's happened to me more than once, and
yeah.
so now, yeah, I'm much more wary. There's that grace period where you got to be really careful. So
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta be like, actually, honestly, you gotta be careful with everybody now, because there's a lot of people out there that have ulterior motives, and you don't know what they are. They're just like, oh, you know, like, maybe I'm bored, and I'm just gonna fuck you until I find somebody better. And oh, that person was better, like, visually, but then like they weren't actually like better, like, personally. So here I am back at you, like, talking about stuff and like wasting your
yeah,
time and blah blah blah. Like, the rebound stuff, I get it, but like, You gotta like at least pick somebody who's okay with being a rebound person, not like somebody who doesn't know that they're the fucking rebound person.
But you gotta have pretty low self-esteem in order to sign up for that. And I
Well,
did.
sometimes you're just like, oh, like we hung out before and things are cool and I understand, like, just things are like good, like you just generally enjoy that person's company and you miss them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't realize that you're being the rebound person because, like, whatever.
Oh, my mother once knew this woman who was dating a married guy, and it was the classic thing where he says he's gonna leave the woman, and someday. Of course, it never happens. But anyway,
Oh yeah,
this is what a prick this guy was. Okay,
I've
was
heard
his
that.
idea of taking her out on a date. So he takes her to McDonald's. So strike one, strike two. He bought one coffee for them to share. Like that's all.
No,
He wouldn't even spend $5 on this woman.
what the fuck?
He
A
was a
coffee for them to
couldn't
share.
even buy her own coffee. Wouldn't spend
Oh
five
my
bucks really.
God. That shit only costs like $1.25, like $2.
Yeah, something like that. It's I don't know. She
Unless you
just
went to Starbucks, then like $10, like for like two.
I can't imagine the self-loathing that woman must have felt because
Oh my
that's really bad.
God.
And
That
he and
would
he was
fucking
and I've seen the guy. I saw them once. Like my mother and I were actually out by a McDonald's, and they came along, and he wasn't anything to write home about. He was a piece of shit.
yeah, like whatever.
God.
Yeah, man. Like I'm sorry. Like sometimes like the entitlement on some people is like, bitch, do you even have a mirror at home? Do you look at yourself today and go like, yeah, I'm totally worthy of a fucking solid gold telephone. I'm totally worthy of like a fucking like, fucking I don't know, like fuck, like Jesus, like some of this shit is like it's mind boggling. You're just like, dude or woman, like dude or woman, whichever. Like, have you looked in the mirror today? I don't know where this entitlement is coming from. I don't get it.
But ultimately, she was feeding it. I mean, she should have, you know, the best thing for her to do was just to get out. Um,
Yeah.
I guess he was stringing her along.
Oh man. They
Uh,
do like yeah. That's one thing that I like totally give guys. Like they actually like they're not manipulative like we are, but they know how to string things along. They know how to like drag stuff out.
yeah, I read
And
this.
like they might not like actually know, like they don't know like all the fucking like points and stuff, but they know because it's like passed down from male to male to male. But like
Yeah,
just like that, the manipulative shit and like mother's guilt and things like that, that's all female shit. So like we have another side of it. And I'm not saying like neither one is good, but I do admire the fact that guys they've gotten me a few times, and I thought I was fucking smart. I
well,
did.
Sharon Stone once said, "Women can fake orgasms, but men can fake whole relationships." Have you found that
Yeah.
to be true?
Yeah. Yeah, actually. I have. Like that's actually a pretty semi-recent one to like kind of touch on. I was really pissed off about a situation. Just 'cause like the person and I we hung out like a lot. Like I thought we were actually getting like close as friends. Like I didn't want to fucking catch feelings 'cause like I'm not about that at this moment in time, although I am privy to these things because like when you spend a lot of time with somebody, sometimes that does happen. But I mean, from the get-go, people were like, for some reason, people were saying like I was infatuated with this person. I was like into whatever, and that wasn't the case. I was just like, I thought they were cool and talked to like two people about it, and they like fucking blew my fucking shit up and made it seem like I was like obsessed or something. And then later on, after like this person and I got to know each other and like, we proved some of that shit wrong. Other people fucking stepped in and said some shit, and I'm like, I don't even know who the fuck this person is. How do they know me? How do they even? I don't talk to them, and they're like saying some shit, like it was weird. Like it was almost like like it wasn't like a relationship. It was just like sort of like a. It was a very loose relationship. It wasn't a romantic relationship. It wasn't like being fucking like partners or nothing like that. But like the relationship was kind of like doomed from the start, and I hated that because it was like, man, I have zero control because all these other people fucking said bullshit about everything. They're just blah 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 blah, and it's like, dude, I don't even know you. I don't know who you are. Like. I don't even know your name, let alone I've never met you. Like I've never met you. How are you talking about my shit? So
Were these
like
women?
yes.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
they.
they were women. They were women. Like two of them were at least, and they're just like it's like, okay, cool, buddy. Like, I don't like, and a lot of them are younger. It's like,
Yeah,
cool, yeah, like obviously you got a lot of growing up to do. I mean, I may not have kids like these other people do, but I don't need kids to know that I'm mature enough to say like, like to speak the truth about somebody. If somebody asks me about somebody and I don't know about them, I'm not gonna make some shit up. I'll be like, I don't know. Like, they seem pretty cool, but don't quote me on that. Like, because I've been wrong. I have been wrong. I've hooked people up. I've hooked a lot of people up successfully, but I've also unsuccessfully. Like, and the unsuccessful is like a lot lower scale than the successful part because and a lot of these people are like my ex-boyfriends for fuck's sakes. I'm like, my ex-boyfriend, you and him would be good together. I know because like, not that I've tried him out, but I've tried him out.
yeah, yeah,
And you guys are a good match. Like,
yeah. That can
you
happen.
know, it's like shit like that. It's like, people need to be more loose and less like fucking like shitty to each other. It's like, like just fucking look the whole picture. Are you fucking meshing well? If it's not working, it's better if you drop the shit, stop wasting your goddamn time making it work, and go find something that works. And in the meantime, if you're a cool enough fucking friend, you can hook that thing up that didn't work with something that might work, and bam, like everyone's happy. Like
Yeah,
fuck.
exactly. And there's one great quote. I don't know who said this, but someone said, "Women are the gatekeepers of sex. Men are the gatekeepers of relationships."
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the shoe can be on the other foot too, but ultimately, I mean, yeah, I mean, well, the sex totally depends on the woman's consent.
Oh
So that,
yeah, you just can't go have sex. Like so I
but
guess like we are the gatekeepers on that end. Like
then a lot of women have tried to really pressure a guy into a relationship, but doesn't that tend to just scare him off or put him off about the idea?
what's that?
To like really pressure him into making a commitment if he's
Oh yeah, like I honestly I've never been okay, there's like one time where I kind of I guess I had a little bit of pressure on that sort of thing, but I moved from Edmonton to here to start doing that. So like in all fairness, I like dropped a life that I had in Alberta to come over and start a new one with a fucking dude that didn't give a fuck about me in the end. Like, and I wasted 10 years on that motherfucker. So, like, and I mean, it's been an up and down thing with us, right? Like, I'm like, okay, so, like, I've always been the kind of person to work through stuff. And to be honest, like, he's like, he like I don't know, like he's kind of not 100% on that tip, but I think it's because he just doesn't fucking he's got no game. Like you can't really go and
Maybe.
find another person like as easy as I am.
And maybe he also got so comfortable with the ego boost from it all that he just
Yeah, I
enjoyed
mean,
that.
I never gave up. I was just I felt like I invested so much time at that point that it was just like fucking stupid to let go of. It's like, yo, like, we came this far, like fuck, like I can't just, you know, I personally can't let it go. I don't know about you. And like usually he'd agree with me, right? And it
Yeah.
wasn't like I was manipulating him, but he was like just not he was not telling me the whole truth, right? Like cuz he got me to move and like 2 weeks before I was supposed to move, he was like, "Oh, I don't know if this is a good idea." And I'm like, "Bitch, you just literally put a real ring on my finger." And we made plans. Like, this is not like new shit. And you're gonna tell me it's not a good idea. Like, what? And
No,
I should have just taken that as like a fucking red flag, Like, and that's the thing. We don't see the red flags when they're like waving in our face. We don't.
yeah, I
We
know where
don't.
you're coming from. I'm a giver too, and
Yeah.
when you end up with a taker, that can be a real
Or
downer.
just the person who doesn't fucking get it. They don't get
Yeah.
the reciprocal aspect of things. It's like, yo, like, this person is giving, 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 giving. You should probably give back
Oh yeah.
because that's a fucking cycle. Like it's a reciprocal thing. Like you can't expend an energy without getting it back, like essentially. Like you kind of like if you expend it all the time, you're gonna fucking die. If you're not getting it back somehow, like having that reciprocal like cycle, then like fuck, like, if you're not getting that, you're gonna fucking die. You're gonna put yourself in an early grave. Cause you're just like fucking giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, and it's a thankless job, and people don't really care, and like it sucks.
Oh, totally. Well, Matt,
And that's my like depressive downward moment. Like,
yeah. On that note, guess we'll go before anyone slits their wrists.
I
Right?
know, right? Let's not kill anyone. Like, we don't want to be responsible for anybody. Like, life is actually worth living, just so you know. There are ups and downs, but god damn it, don't kill yourself.
No, no. Especially not over a boy
Yeah, fuck that shit. You might be actually in
or a
love with
girl.
girls, so.
Well, any human being, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, on that awkward note.
Well, thank you very much, my dear, for joining me once again.
Oh, hell yes. Always a pleasure.
All right. Have yourself a great night.
Yes, you too.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.